Hey everyone, Ray here with Rinksworks. Today's project, we're filling some holes in sheet metal. I'm on my 71 Nova and I'm working on these floor cross braces that had a bunch of extra holes drilled in them that I decided to fill. So I used a technique that I hadn't used before and I like it. So I thought I'd show it to you if you're interested. So if you are, stay tuned and I'll show you how I did it. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Rinksworks. Today we're working on this 71 Nova. I am doing some floor repairs and I came across something that's going to allow me to try out a technique that I learned. As you can see, I've got this floor half cut out. I've already repaired the toe board, that's all been replaced up there. These floor braces here, I noticed have some extra holes in them. These larger holes are factory, and then there's some other just random holes that have been drilled over the years, probably for some seats or something. So I'm gonna fill those with a technique I learned off of a channel called Fitzy's Fabrications, and I would link you to the video, but I don't remember which video I saw it in, as I've watched a lot of his videos and they are fantastic, and I encourage you, if you're into doing automotive metal work, to check out his channel. Again, that's Fitzy's Fabrications. And I'm doing another video on these floors and also on making some seat brackets for some new seats I'm going to put in here. But I'm going to try this technique out on an area because these holes really don't need to be filled, but I'm going to fill them as practice because I want to learn the technique and get it down before I try it on something that is really why I want to do this, which is my 49 Chevy. And as you can see, I've got some larger holes here in this door and on the other door that were from some trim that's not going to go back on this car. So I want to fill these holes. So I'm going to try out this technique on that Nova to see how well it works, and then, eventually use that on here. So we're just going to use some scrap metal. These are just pieces of the cut off the floor that I'm putting in the Nova. That's just scrap. So let me get set up and we'll come back and do this together. Okay, so here's the piece we're going to use. Just a piece of scrap. I don't know if you can see, this is cut off pretty crudely with a cutoff wheel. I'm going to just take a sanding disc, sand down these sharp edges, clean off the paint off the area that we're going to use. And then we'll come right back. Sorry about the compressor noise. So I got that smoothed out, paint cleaned off good enough, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the hole we're going to fill. Here's our piece of scrap that we just kind of cleaned up. I'm just going to set it underneath there and draw a circle around it. And we'll go set up and get it cut. Okay, we have our piece just clamped in this vise. I'm just going to take a cut-off wheel and I'm just going to cut kind of around it. I'm not trying to make a circle. I'm just cutting off the excess. I'll probably get in the way of the camera a little bit, but you'll get the idea. Okay, so we have a crude piece cut out of there, and then we'll let that cool off for a second, and I'll bring you right back and we'll show you what's next. Okay, now I'm just going to use an ordinary old coat hanger and cut a piece of this off, straighten it out a little bit. Should be plenty. I'm just going to straighten it out a bit. Okay. Got it mostly straightened out. I have our little piece clamped in the vise here. Let me just set up the welder and I'll be right back. And here's our piece of coat hanger. We're just going to try to tack weld it somewhere close to the center of the hole. I try to keep this thing, straight, but it's probably going to be a little bit difficult. If it's a little bit off, I don't think it'll matter. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. So there it is. It's just tacked on there. Now let me do some setup and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took the cutoff wheel off the grinder, put an old flap disc on it. It's 60 grit. I'm just using the vise to hold this. I've been using this vise, but if you had a welding table, which I don't have, you could just do all this on the welding table. Probably be a little bit easier. So I'm going to just take this now and chuck it into the drill. Like so. And turn the sander on, and we're just going to spin them against each other and turn this thing into a circle. So let's take a peek at how that's going to look. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is now becoming a circle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check it against the hole that's in the car. We want this to be smaller than the hole. You don't want it to fit snugly. I'll explain that here in a little bit. So I'm going to go check this in the car, and if I need to spin it down more, I'll spin it down a little bit more, and when I get it down to size, I'll bring you back. Alright guys, full disclosure, I screwed up. I spun this down too small. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I was thinking of needing to go on the inside of the black line, which obviously is wrong. I need to be on the outside. So I cut it too small. But all is not lost, because I just need to spin it down a little bit more, and I will use it right here in that hole. So I'm going to do the same thing again, just to cut this correctly. Cut on the outside, make this bigger, and do it again. You don't need to watch it again, so I'm going to do that and I'll come back. Okay, I cut another one. You can see how nice and round it came out. So that'll go in this hole here. But what I'm going to do, so this is a little bit thicker than the sheet metal that I used to make this plug. So what I want to do is I want to put something to back this so that I can set the plug down in there and then weld around it. And something I've been meaning to do for a while is make a copper backer. Copper, you can use copper on the back side of a weld. It won't stick to it. Well, it'll heat up and sort of melt to it a little bit, but you can pull it back off. So you can use copper to, let's say you want to fill in a hole like this. You can put copper on the back side and then start welding around it. And having that copper there prevents the welding rod from going through there and sort of leaving a bunch of needles on the back side. If you've ever seen that, it looks pretty nasty and it's kind of hard to clean up. So copper will help do that. And I thought, well, where in the heck am I going to get copper? I don't have any copper. But then I remembered I do have some copper. This is a piece of 3/4 inch pipe from when I was doing some plumbing in the house. So I'm going to make a copper backer out of this and show you how I'm going to do that now. Okay, so we've got our piece of copper pipe. This is 3/4 pipe. I just picked a random spot to cut it. This is just a pipe cutter. You could cut it in other ways, but you can cut it with a hacksaw or whatever, but just make it nice clean cut. So I'm just going to cut this. Okay. So now let's slice it this way. So let's open this up a bit. Okay, now we have a flat piece of copper we can use as a backer. I'm just going to hit these sharp edges with sander real quick, and we'll be done with the copper backer. Okay, so we got our copper backer, and we'll set that underneath the hole, and we can set this in here and weld it in. And I said earlier I made this. I didn't make it to fit because you want to be able to get the weld down inside that whole thing and get good penetration. I did make it a little bit too small, to be honest, but it's okay. So I'm going to cut part of this off now just to make it easier. If you notice, I don't know if you can see it or not, but if I spin this, you can probably see that this is not perpendicular to the piece that we welded it onto. So trying to hold it square is going to be a little difficult, so I'm just going to cut it off. And then we'll hold our backer underneath it, like so. And we'll set our piece in there and weld it in. Got my glove on. Hold the copper backer down there. Okay. Not great welding, guys, but partly because I was trying to keep the camera, not get in the way of the camera, but so I'm just going to go around this now off camera. It'll be easier, and just weld that up around there, and then we'll grind it off. Alright guys, so I did a bit of a crappy weld. I think I didn't have enough heat, and I didn't really notice it when I was welding like I should have. But this is not structural, this is just filling a hole. So let's go ahead and grind this down now. So I'm going to get set up for that. I'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, I did a horrible weld there. I did not get enough penetration on this. I think I just didn't have enough heat. So I just adjusted my welder a little bit. I'm going to weld this up again. I'm going to always show you my mistakes because we all can learn from it. So there's a mistake. And I should have really noticed it when I was welding. But anyway, I'm going to set up, be right back. Alright guys, I ended up welding this up for a third time. I wasn't happy with the way it came out the second time, so I turned my speed up on the welder a little bit, and oh man, what a difference it made. So you can, when your welder's set up right, you can see it, feel it, and hear it. And I should have realized from the very first time I pulled the trigger when I started this weld that it wasn't welding very well, but I didn't, and that's just needing more time under the helmet. And I will show you all my mistakes always. I think it's important, and I like seeing mistakes in other people's videos because then I know, hey, I'm not the only one. So I got it dialed in, and had this been structural or important, I would have definitely set the welder up off the car on scrap pieces before I started welding on the actual car. I thought I was good enough to just sort of wing it for the purpose of this video, but I wasn't. So you got to see my follies. Anyway, I've got videos coming for installing this floor, making brackets for the Pro Car seats we purchased. I know a lot of people say the seats sit up too high. I can confirm that, so I'm making brackets for that. It might be a video you enjoy or get something out of. And I'll be doing videos on everything else, quarter panels, engine, transmission, whatever we're going to do. I'll put that up if you guys are interested in watching it. So if you like this content, if you get some enjoyment out of it and learn something from it, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll keep doing it because I like doing it and I like hanging out with you guys because it's so much fun. So until we meet again in another video, take care, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.